What's up, YouTube? We're a couple of cunts. We're in the countryside. We're talking about motherfucking sports. So I'm sure this will come as a surprise to everyone watching, but I'm not much of a sports fan.
I can't really say I'm much of a sports fan either.
I get exhausted watching sports. Participating's even worse.
I did shot put, which for some reason I was always quite good at. I could never really do javelin or discus because you actually had to have some technique to get them to fly properly. With a shot put, it was essentially just, this is a heavy lump of metal, throw it. I was quite a stocky lad when I was younger, bigger than some of the other kids.
That's a polite way of putting it.
Well, I was a fat bastard when I was younger, but I could actually throw the bastard quite well.
But I'd play rugby and hockey, which
we both played hockey.
Yeah.
That was the only sport I ever showed any interest in. I wasn't, excuse me, great at it, but I was alright in defence.
Well, somehow I made the fucking team.
Me too.
So they couldn't have had that high standards. You know, I've got all the coordination of a cheese string. Something else we used to do when we were younger was we had our own wrestling federation at our school.
Yeah, it wasn't so much sort of like the wrestling you see, just more like backyard wrestling, the way kids would do it. So we just sort of like run up to each other. It's like, oh, you can't get a metal chair, so you just go and hit someone with your bag or something.
I also remember it was because we had our designated rings, didn't we? Like there was the bit just outside the DT block, that was one ring, and then we had the cell, and then I think we had another one somewhere near the lower foyer.
Basically anywhere we wouldn't get caught.
Well, we had to know where the ring was so we could have falls and that, but me and Paul Turner were having a like falls count anywhere match, and we were, you know where they used to park the minivan? Yeah. This is going to mean fuck all to anyone watching, but
this is just going to be nostalgic for about 2 other people watching this.
They used to park the minivan in this one place anyway, and basically I got him in, the Texas Cloverleaf I do believe was my signature finisher, so I had him in that, and Mr. fucking Bacon Butty himself just sort of bumps up and just, this is great, because you know, if most teachers would come and see a lad with another lad in a fucking Texas Cloverleaf or a sharpshooter basically ripping a guy in two and would probably want to stop it. This fucking, just goes, I think you've won that one. Just leaves. And I sort of had to go, he's probably as close to a referee as we're going to get. Champion! You know, we were both quite big wrestling fans back in the day. I tried watching the fucking WWE recently, and I was like, who are these?
I know, that's the thing. Like, they're only in it for about 5 years before they decide, fuck it,
well,
I can't do it anymore.
That's not true, because the Undertaker's still going, and he's
dead.
A fucking wrinkled
he's
old
literally
bastard.
Dead. Like, most of them will die by steroids or something at that point, or they kill their wife and kids, or they go crazy
because of steroids.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a guy I work with actually who's a cage fighter. He got me some tickets to BAMA, it's called, British Association of Mixed Martial Artists. The amount of stuff this guy has, and the amount it costs him is quite funny. He's got estrogen blockers, so he's just like full of testosterone. He's got hunger suppressants. He's got a pre-workout formula that he takes, but it's basically like injecting 80 cups of coffee into your eyeballs. He's got this muscle gaining formula, but it like fizzes green and shit and is like eating away part of his desk. And they come in these massive fucking jars, and like the number of chemicals and shit written on the side is like 135 fuckiohexane or something like that, and the number of like potential side effects and stuff on there, it's just sort of like warning, you may grow tentacles. Awesome.
You may go a bit Chris Benoit.
There's like Mike Tyson. At one point he threatens to eat Lennox Lewis's children. And it's just the way he does it. It's just like, oh man, I want to eat his children. It's that voice as well. And he's giving a press conference at one point. It's like, I'm a complicated person. I'm a loving father. I'm a convicted rapist. You know, I'm many things. It's sort of like, man's a walking contradiction.
I fucking love Mike Tyson.
I'm not sure Mike Tyson's really a sports person. He's
just he's really a person.
He's just a guy that liked fighting, but they just thought, you know what, you're really good at hammering people to shit. Why don't we put you in a boxing ring and make some money out of you?
I'm sure Evander Holyfield is really angry at the people who made that decision.
It's like Chuck Norris as well. He's great, he's an internet meme, he's funny watching him kick people, but he's a real nutty Bible basher. I can't remember its name. I think it's called shock fighting or something like that. It's basically like UFC, but in their gloves they put tasers in there. or stun guns, whatever you want to call
That makes me
them.
think of some of the old death matches that like Mick Foley used to wrestle in, where they'd fucking, instead of ring ropes, they'd have like barbed wire, and they'd put like C4s on the mat and stuff, and just like fucking set each other on fire and blow each other up and stuff.
You watch these, like I found this, funnily enough, on Cracked. The instructions on this was, watch these videos without sound on first. And it basically just looked like a couple of really retarded UFC fighters just sort of going... And it's like, right, watch it with the sound on, and you just hear these fucking stun guns going... Zzz, zzz, and then just like you hear it connecting, it's just like, oh, that's horrible. I want to watch more. Lacrosse. That's a weird sport.
Curling.
Curling.
I fucking love curling. Curling is eventually like someone gets a Henry Hoover and pelts it down the ice, and a bunch of other people sweep up. That's what a concept for a sport that is.
That's how fucking broke they were in Scotland. Just like, right, fuck it, we've got to clean up after ourselves and make it fun. Hey, pish, let's just like throw this down here and get a fucking mop.
Yeah, cheese rolling is the other sport. Being
Cheese rolling, that just thing to me is like, that is the most British thing you can see. Like, people talk about incorrect humour and, you know, slightly racist stuff. We look at something another culture does and takes a piss out of them. I fucking hope on the other side of the world, someone in Thailand or something is watching that go, those stupid fucking Brits. You could just go to a supermarket and buy some fucking cheese. But no, these retards decide to throw themselves down a fucking hill. I just watch it as well, like the people, they look all like fucking Wiccans or hippies or druids or whatever they want to be called. You just watch these utterly gormless twats running down a hill after a bit of cheese like, go to fucking Tesco! It's not that hard, seriously. I'm going to risk a fucking spinal fracture to get myself a bit of cheese. It's not worth it. I love cheese. Fucking buy some. Hey, melt cheese on anything, it makes it better.
There must be other bizarre sports. Like
There's weird stuff.
There's whole like channels on YouTube dedicated to like really weird sports.
The ancient Aztecs used to have some sport. I remember reading a horrible histories book of all things years ago. It was some sort of ball. If you lost at the end of it, you got beheaded. Like that would be an incentive to win your match in the Premier League. Rather than
they should introduce that. We could cull quite a
rather
few
than
useless
fucking
twats.
just sort of like someone run over the ball and you sort of go, oh, he went near me, I had to fall over and get a free penalty out of that. If you got fucking beheaded at the end of it, you play that game like a motherfucker.
You try a bit more, yeah.
Things were a lot different when people used to behead each other for trivial shit like that.
The world was a better place.
You know what really pisses me off though?
Everything.
It's like when you see violence or, you know, Millwall fans or something like that after a fucking football game or something, you see them kicking each other's heads in. It's just sort of like, look, a fucking game where peasants are running around with a pig's bladder, kicking about, because that's all it is. That is not a good enough reason to kill a man. There was a show as well on MTV, not quite the same as, you know, most normal sports, but it was a show called Scarred. I don't know if you ever saw it.
Never heard of it.
It was actually done by Jacoby Shaddix of Papa Roach fame, but it was basically the stuff they don't show you on all the skating channels and shit. It's when accidents go wrong, but not just wrong, horribly fucking wrong. There was one guy on a quad bike who ripped his finger off when he crashed. It was fucking...
What, like literally off?
Literally ripped his finger off. There was one guy who shattered his kneecap, limped into a hospital, and he had doctors come into his bed because they x-rayed his leg, as you would do. They came in and said, oh, we heard reports that you walked in here. And it's just like, yeah, I did. It was sort of like, that isn't medically possible for you to have walked in here. One guy, they were in this tower block that was being constructed. You know, basically a flight of stairs. But this was...
Yes, I'm aware of it.
Well, no, it was as if there was no railings or anything or any floor there. He fell off and literally just smacked his head on the floor, cracked it open, and walked to hospital holding his skull together like that, and got in there sort of like, why didn't you call an ambulance? So I didn't think it was that bad. It's just sort of like, your skull is in two pieces. You see the x-rays and stuff. When I broke my leg, it looked like a fucking bag of crisps. But you just see these people like with like extra corners on their limbs, just sort of like coming in to like A&E or something. It's like, what were you doing? It's like, I was trying to pull off like a 540 grind, and they're just walking in looking like some leper from the Middle Ages because they're like elbows like up here or something. It's fucking horrible and brilliant at the same time.
So the lesson is, don't fuck around on a skateboard, especially when you've been drinking.
Yeah.
Having said that, we happen to have a skateboard here, and my bald co-host here is going to show us his stuff. Aren't you, dear?
Okay, let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Well, we've been a couple of cunts in the countryside, and if you like this video, give us the thumbs up and add to your favourites. Share with your friends, subscribe to our channel. check us out on Facebook and Twitter. And if you didn't enjoy it, you're probably a sports fan, let's be honest. Feel free to suggest a topic for us to talk about in a future episode. We'll see you next time.
And remember, whether you've got balls or not, look after your equipment.